guests here today, and I'm very fortunate and glad to have them. They have been coming to our Bridge in the Gap meetings, and this is the great thing, and they can probably share that better than I can, because how the connections or how the partnerships or how doors have been opening for them in order for them to do even more of what they were doing in the past. So I definitely, when I hear these things or these comments or people letting us know that how they're benefiting, it is a great blessing for us to know that we are being able to, bring these different resources together to make connections or partnerships that are happening with our Bridge in the Gap. So thank you again for being here. Can you please introduce yourself and who you represent?
My name is Latasha Revis, and I am a co-founder, CEO of SIVER Solutions LLC. And what we do is various application ranging from mobile applications to websites to standalone applications for businesses of all sizes. It can be the individual, it can be the small mom and pop shop business, the corporation, or the government. Just to give you a background on me, I'm originally from Toledo, Ohio, and then I went to Central State University for my undergrad, and I majored in computer science. And then I moved to DC, and I finished up my degree there. Well, came back, finished my degree, and then I worked different places, and then I worked at the government, and I got my master's degree in also computer science. And we lived in England for some time. We did IT work there, and ended up in San Antonio and started the business and haven't looked back.
Wow, that's so awesome. I didn't know that part of England. I don't know if you had mentioned that before, but you said you worked with the government, then you went to England, and I'm thinking MI6, am I thinking like James Bond? That's what came to mind. I don't know, I'm just kind of crazy. I think because I just saw the movie last week of that, the most recent James Bond movie. But wow, that's astonishing. You have the credentials, of course, but what you're saying, and the different aspects of where you're coming from, and so you're very, very well qualified to talk about what you're doing as far as the business you just started as well. Also, you have your husband here with him. I just met him, I think, a couple of weeks back.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for being here. Just say hello to the people and let us know who you are.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Caprice Revis. I originally am from North Carolina. Started with my undergrad degree in computer science from East Carolina University. Moved up to the DC area to work for the government, where I met this lovely young lady to my left. And I completed my my graduate studies at Johns Hopkins University in Maryland, and then went to England. Got married, had kids, and moved here after England back in 2018, I believe, and. Yeah, the rest is history as far as starting the business.
Sure. So you've been here kind of not too long here in San Antonio, originally from North Carolina?
Yes, sir.
So how does it transition? I mean, compared to North, I've never been there, so I mean, I know it's probably hotter here than over there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever experienced a winter where the highs were in the 70s. Yeah. Usually they're like in the 40s or 50s in North Carolina. And even in Maryland, it's like much colder. And in England, they're about 40 degrees.
Right, so. Yeah. Well, England's a little bit more muggier, I guess, what I hear, or just the days are usually that way. I don't think you have too much of a winter there, or...
So I think at night, you have I guess around the fall and winter, like you have I think it's longer nights. So it'll start to get dark around 2 p.m., 3 p.m. local time.
Really?
Yeah, and then you may see maybe literally 2 or 3 hours of sunlight, during the day, and then around the spring and summertime, it probably won't get dark till about 12 in the morning. But at that point, you're already asleep, so you don't even see the darkness when you go to sleep and when you wake up and when you go to work. So
no, I don't know. I think I like Texas better.
yeah, it definitely is a challenge. In order for us to, we call it pseudo sunlight.
Oh yeah.
We had a happy light, and it's kind of like a huge LED light. And then as soon as we would get home, we would literally turn it on, kind of stick our face in front of it.
Yeah, the happy light works wonders.
It does.
Hey, I always say whatever works for you, right? I mean, whatever works for you. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you're here now, right? And I know we met I met you first at our Bridge in the Gap meeting. How did you get connected curious. I don't know if you told me or not. How did you get connected to Bridging the Gap?
Bella, actually, with
Okay.
Goodwill.
Yes.
Yeah, I was looking for the various contracts for our company, and then she brought up your name, and then that's when I called you, and yeah, rest is history.
Well, shout out to Bella, because I know
Yes,
she
very
does some
nice.
great things there at Goodwill.
Yes,
One of our
yes.
partners, and they're again, look into them, because man, if you're looking for a job, or you just it's a great organization. They offer so much, and I think I'm trying to remember, because we have so many, that I think if you join their program for some type of work related program that they have, that, or either, I don't know if they're probably providing a high school diploma, that they pay you for some of these programs. So
Oh wow.
Okay.
you go in there and like you get that. I mean, if I would have had that, I think I would have just dropped out of school, and I'm going to get paid to go to school. I'd rather have it that way than just go to school and not get paid for it. But I'm just some crazy thoughts, right, that I'm thinking.
Oh no.
But that's the world we live in now, because of
Yeah.
COVID and everything. There's so many programs out there that you're able to connect with, and they'll even pay for your schooling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
take advantage of that, folks. If you're out there, maybe you're looking for a job, we have a lot of different partnerships that offer that. I know Goodwill is one of them. And again, shout out to Bella. Thank you for what you all are doing. But that was how the connection was made, right? Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
so give me some feedback as far as the listeners that may be listening for the first time. They may not know what's Bridging the Gap. I mean, how did you see when you first were there? What impression did he give you? Or I don't know. I mean, just this is not a paid advertisement here, but share with us what you thought was on Bridging the Gap.
Yeah, at first, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a small support group. You see people on TV. Hi, I'm Latasha, and dot.
And I have this problem, right? Yeah.
Right.
Well, I'm glad that was your first impression of us.
No. That's what I thought going
No, I
in.
get it.
And I'm like, okay, let me get my coffee ready. And so, and then once I went in, it was so many people there from all different backgrounds. You had lawyers, you had government workers, you had, nonprofits, and just seeing a totally different side of, San Antonio, because for the most part, when we were full-time government, we sit behind our desk. We don't really get out and see what different people are in San Antonio, and then just meeting so many different people and being inspired, it kind of opened my eyes so much. And then we were able to make a connection with someone at the meeting, Dana, and she's with ACOG.
Right.
And one of our mentalities, our mantra is, yes, we are a business, we do what businesses do, but at the same time, we want to give back, because what we do is meaningless. It means nothing if we're not giving back to help someone else and bring someone else along with us. And then that's how we got kind of hooked up with Dana, and we're going to start helping out adults that have intellectual disabilities. We're going to help them learn how to program. We're going to give them like the true basics of programming. And then at the end of the program, we're going to have them do things with us to help out with our business, the social media aspect of it, some of our apps, and then also some of our websites. So it's just a blessing to be able to do that, and it's because of Bridging the Gap, of making that connection, bridging the gap, that we're in this position to help.
And when I think it was at our last meeting when you shared that, because Dana was just coming in. I think she was there for a different reason, doing her work, of course. But when we were getting ready to leave, this is when I find out when you're sharing these things, and I'm like, that is so awesome, because the connection, like you said, were being made, and to be able to collaborate, and I think they got funding for that particular program, and I don't know if that's something that will overlap to you as far as getting compensated, but if that is the case, that's awesome, because like you said, first and foremost, you want to give back. And I've always said this, and I'll continue to say this, right, that Bridging the Gap has some of the best partnerships or people that we could possibly have, because what I see or feel a lot is that you're doing it, like you just said, you're doing it from the heart. I get it. A lot of times it is for a paycheck, understandable. But a lot of times you get people that are getting the paycheck, but they're doing it. Sometimes they would do it for free, and because that's what they want to do, like you said, give back. And that's the blessings I think that we are able to receive when we do it from the heart. because God knows, right? It's not. I always believe that God's not impressed by what you bring, but rather how you bring it.
Right.
Right, because that it's biblical, and I won't go into that part because we could be here all day with that. But I believe that God sees your heart, right? And if you bring it for the right reason, that's what He's looking at. You could bring Him a penny, as offering, and again, I go to that scripture, right? But it's like, yeah, but I'm bringing it. This is all I have, God. I'm bringing it with all my heart. Versus somebody that says, hey, I got an overflow of money, so I'm just going to give you what I got overflow, God, right now. So it's not, necessarily bringing it from the heart, but this is for you. So I think when you said that, that you're doing this because you want to give back, that has to come from the heart. Nobody's telling you have to do it. Nobody's forcing you to do it. And so I believe that what you're doing has more of an impact because it is coming from the heart.
Right.
Yeah. So this program that's available or is going to be available, is it through ACOG? They have to sign up if they want to do something like that, or what?
Yes, sir. They're right now in the process of interviewing the individuals and putting everyone together. We're thinking maybe December, January time frame.
Okay.
When it will start.
Well, that's great. And again, these are some of the things that are, that we're starting to see the benefits of the coming together and collaborating with each other as far as you can call it a networking. I know that some people call it, well, it's, maybe an organization or, it's, I don't know. I mean, I don't have let's say a particular thing that we are, other than the fact that we're coming together and sharing resources, because it's not just for businesses. Right. You have Chamber of Commerce that are just for business related relationships, but I think this is a faith-based, of course, but it's open to a business, to a nonprofit organization, people that are just willing, like I said, to help and to give from the heart. And so I'm so blessed to be able to be part of this because, again, I come back to that. We have some of the most caring people, in this organization. So I'm grateful and thankful for that. Elaborate a little bit on exactly on that's what you're doing, but what is it that you do or offer maybe to people who may be in need of a website, or maybe I know you had mentioned a phone application. How does that, if somebody may be looking for something like that?
Yeah, usually what they would do, they will go to our website or get in contact with us and let us know their requirements. And then once we get their requirements, we will usually come up with a design for them. And then once we come up with the design, they can either agree, yay or nay. And then we just go from there. And this is either with an app, because so many different people have app requirements. Like, say for instance, one of our latest apps that we're working on, it's for a production company. They do plays and things like that. And so they came to us with the requirements and everything, came up with the design, and we were able to implement it. Caprice, he's the back end guy. He's server, everything, crazy guru in Java. And I'm the front end. I'm thinking, okay, how are these people thinking? And so he usually creates the back end. I send him the request on the server side, and then he gives me something back. And
yeah, basically the stuff you don't see that makes the app work. So
exactly,
yeah.
Behind the scenes, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Behind the scenes.
Yeah. And so what the app does is it connects to a payment system. They can go through it and they can put their credit card information into it, and we have a secure system that process the payments. And then also what it does is because I know with me, one of the things that was kind of annoying, I would sign up for an event and I would lose my ticket or the email or something like that. But with the app, you can easily log into the app and then you can get your ticket information. It comes up as a QR code. It generates a QR code, and then you take that QR code and you just show that at the door. And then if you forget your password information, you can log in using Google, or you can use your own email. And so this is just one of the projects that we were working on. And then some of the other projects we were working on, we were maintaining websites for bigger organizations, especially the IT, the more technical aspect of it, like with the APIs issues and stuff like that. And so, yeah, we're a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, that's great. And the thing is that, like what you mentioned in the very beginning, you have the education. So you're not somebody who says, well, I started this in my bedroom, and I'm kind of doing a little, what's the program? I know that I've used before, Wix or something like that, where you can do a website real quick.
Yeah.
But it gets more complex than that. And so that's important to know that, there's a lot of people out there that could tell you that they do things, but I think qualified people will let you know, we definitely have an education in this, and we've been doing this just like what both of you have, that education.
And a little background on me, Caprice, he's been the rock star coder ever since he's been inside of college. But me, it's like at first, it's hard being in a field. You don't see anyone that you look like. You don't see enough women. You don't see enough people of color. And not being exposed to that, I kind of retreated thinking, I can't do this stuff. I know I got lucky at school in undergrad. I can't do this. And so I took on easier jobs, and I was missing out on so many different things that could have grew me. Like when I was in college, someone came to me and they asked for me to build a website, but I was so afraid to do coding and stuff like that. I kind of retreated,
Right.
And then, once I started working with the government, started getting into coding more, I got a little bit more comfortable with it. And then I reached a point to where I wasn't doing as much challenging coding like what I was used to. And then that's when I started just outside of work. I would go home, eat, chat it up with Caprice, and then teach myself how to program apps. And then that was kind of the birth of our business,
Right. And that's the hard part, is getting out of your comfort zone, right?
Oh,
Usually
absolutely.
that's like, no, I'm good here, and we talked about that earlier. It's like you stepping out of your comfort zone. It's a whole other challenge.
Right.
And like with me when I took over this, well, I think as Christians, let's be honest, I think we shouldn't see things as problems. I think we should see them as challenges, because I think they're two different things. Sometimes you see in the world, if you don't know God, and sometimes you see, I got a problem, and it's like, well, you're already defeated, and you haven't even done anything about it.
Right.
So I think as Christians, we should have that mindset to say, this is a challenge for me. And knowing that God is behind me, that, it's going to be hard work or anything. But usually when that's involved, the outcome will usually be good, because like we were saying earlier, things that matter in life, things that have substance or value, are not easy to obtain. You got to go through the process.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I always say.
Right.
So, that being said, if anybody maybe is listening right now, maybe they were thinking of, well, I have a business, I would like to maybe do a website or social media, because you also do social media. Where can they get in touch with you, or how can they reach you?
Yes, it's SIVER Solutions, and SIVER is spelled S-I-V as in Victor, E-R Solutions LLC. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. And we do a little bit of work on Twitter. We're still working that part of it. Or you can email us, info@SIVERSolutionsLLC.com.
And that website is SIVERSolutionsLLC.info. And that's SIV as in Victor, ER, SolutionsLLC.info.
Okay. So if anybody out there maybe is considering wanting a website, or maybe you have a website and you're not happy with someone who is maybe handling that, give them a call. You never know. I think knowing that they're very qualified, it should be a comfort, right? That I know that maybe I'm giving it to somebody who knows what they're doing, versus somebody who's like, well, yeah, it's a hobby,
Yeah.
So that's great to hear. But what else do you have, or what else do you any goals or anything that before we finish?
Just want to continue doing the work, because right now we're still growing, we're still learning. This business thing is totally new to us. It's totally new to our family. So it's just basically wherever God leads us. God may lead us to a different direction. We don't know. We just doing the best we can right now with what we have, and then just listening to God to send us in whatever direction He needs us to go.
Yeah, and I was going to say for me, basically, even though, that is all new to us, but also changing my mentality of going in with, like, service first instead of profit first. I mean, because, growing up, we're used to, like, okay, get a good job, to, make some money and provide for your family. But it's like, what if we can change that mindset to, okay, yeah, you definitely need some money to pay your bills, but try to come in with that service first mentality
Sure.
to try to like find a need to like help people. And for us, I'm hoping that can be through teaching about technology, providing like technology to under privileged people. So
Right, and I learned that in my business. I had to diversify. It wasn't just I started doing this, but they would ask me, "Do you do this?" Well, not right now, but let me look into it.
yeah,
So I figured that everything that I was doing was tying into the main thing that I was doing. It wasn't like I was going off somewhere off of left field that had nothing to do with it. So the more I was able to add, they were like, "Okay, well, instead of calling somebody else, I'm just use you," because I added different services to the same thing that I was doing, but it all fell into that what I was doing. So diversifying is a great thing, and like you said, being able to provide those. The service part is how I hooked them,
yeah,
because I provided the best service I possibly could, and they liked that because they were dealing with other people and said, well, we can't, they don't produce on time, we have problems, we have issues. And I'm like, well, give me a chance when you're tired of them. Give me a chance, that's all I'm asking. I'm not going to take anything away from them.
yes, sir.
So that's kind of the way it started, and then I hooked them with a service, and they realized, hey, we don't have any problems. The work gets done. It's great. And then somebody else would come in with cheaper rates, and they would jump over to them, and then all of a sudden they get so much work they're not able to take care of the business. And so they would come back to me and say, well, hey, I'm sorry, but the rates went up.
Right.
I said, but because you wanted to go somewhere cheaper, but you saw where it got you, right? But with me, if there's no problems, that's part of the service that we're providing. And so that's, again, service, I believe what you said, it's the number one thing that if you're able to give that, people are willing to pay for that. Because they don't want to have problems.
Yep.
Right.
And so that's a great thing. Anything else before we're close to the end of our show?
Just continue to follow us. SIVER Solutions LLC. You can find us on social media. You can email us directly. We're very, very active with our emails. We have it on our phone actually. And so our main thing is we just want to be of service. Use our skill sets to be of service to someone else, because like you were saying earlier, once you're gone, you're gone. But if you don't leave it behind
pass it
anyone,
on. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, and I know we'll continue to see you at our Bridge in the Gap meeting.